Hello. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Is that okay? Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello. Woo. How are you doing today? Exciting? Today is going to be a really, really exciting topic, AI, tech. Because this year, I feels like, also the last year, it feels like there are a lot of things happen, especially with ChatGPT and DeepSeek. It's totally changed our world we are living right now. So before we go to today's topic, I want to ask you several questions. So how many of you used AI just today? Okay. How many of you use AI this week? This week? Great. Okay, I also see someone haven't raised their hands. Okay, so how many of you haven't tried AI at all? Okay, I actually see someone haven't raised their hands in any of the questions, but okay. So, also for me, I use AI every day from ChatGPT. From recently, I'm also very inspired by Spotify. Is there anyone using Spotify here? Yeah. I'm the loyal customer of Spotify. And recently, I'm really in love with one feature. It's called DJ, Spotify DJ. Have you noticed that? So I'm a very music fan. And every morning, I need a DJ to start so it's like, you can imagine that every weekend or Friday night, you are tired of going out, but you want to have some fun by yourself, what you do. So what I do is basically I have a wine and also have a DJ at home, like a really personalized DJ based on my music taste. So it's so amazing. So yeah, AI, I remember last 2 years, we talk a lot about AI gonna change our world and AI gonna take our jobs. And right now, basically today, nowadays, AI is already here. So the question isn't like if AI will change our world, but how AI will shape the world we're living right now. And also in Australia, how we can lead the AI generation, and also you guys for the next generation. I guess there are also a lot of students from University of Melbourne. How are you going to leverage that in your academic area and also in your future business for entrepreneurs and also in your research? So this is our topic for today. And before we kick off our session, I want to quickly introduce myself. My name is Jem. I'm originally from China, and I live in Copenhagen for 5 years. And in my professional, and also last month, I have been living in Copenhagen for five years, working there and study there. And last month, I moved to Melbourne. So basically, this is my 7th week here. So I'm pretty new. And the weather is quite okay. But I have nothing to complain because I'm from China, really north, and very cold, -20 in winter. And Scandinavia, also very dark. The winter is like 7 months, so I have nothing to complain about the weather. And professional-wise, I am also very passionate about AI, technology, and entrepreneurship. I have a mix of AI tech and also entrepreneur part. So I basically work in Copenhagen for 3.5 years in a tech and AI company as a strategy consultant. So what we do is we support grocery retailers to leverage AI and also tech to make the consumer's life easier and make their shopping experience fun. So one of our clients actually Australian retailer. Guess which one? Coast. Yeah, so basically we support their system from Copenhagen. That is my AI and tech side. And the other one, I'm also an entrepreneur. Right now, I'm running my 3rd business to provide consulting services for individuals who want to start their business. And also, we provide consulting services for startups who want to enter the Chinese market for the social media strategy. So I'm very happy to be here. It's such an absolute privilege. And I hope that everyone could enjoy today's discussion. And if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. And I hope that this is not a presentation, but it's more like engaging conversation, okay? Yeah, okay. Are you ready for today? Okay, so firstly, let's welcome Yifei and also Stephen. They are also the supporter for our today's event. Yifei is the founder of AIBuild, and Stephen is the founder of AIBuild. Let's give them a very warm welcome.
Perhaps I'll go first, Yifei. Would you like? Yep. Perhaps we'll change the slide, if I may. The next slide, please. Oh, yep. So I'm just going to move that here. You go first, yep. I'll go.
All right, so, okay, hi everyone. So I'm Yifei, the founder and CEO of AIBuild. First, I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to the elders, past and present. So it's fantastic to be here with so many people who share passion for AI. Unlike in other rooms where I have to explain why AI matters. So, But it seems like sorry, just a second. Am I just using the HDMI, if that's okay? Yeah, it's because the wording is all wrong. Sorry about that. Okay, so probably I'll restart as well. So it's fantastic to be here with so many people who share the passion for AI, and here I don't need to convince anyone. We all know it's transforming the world around us at an incredible pace. So in my journey with AIBuild, I've seen firsthand how AI can go from being just an abstract idea in a lab to powering real products that change industries and even people's daily lives. So from helping hospitals streaming the patient care to reducing carbon emissions in infrastructure, to optimizing supply chain with quantum-inspired algorithms, the applications are endless, and we are only scratching the surface. Today, I will take you through 3 parts. A quick dive into the history of AI, the breakthroughs that got us here, and our own startup story that the challenges and the wins of building AI solutions in Melbourne. And most importantly, the practical opportunities ahead where AI can be applied with real impact and how enthusiasts like you can play a role in shaping our future. So thank you for joining me. I can't wait to explore these ideas together and hear your thoughts as a fellow AI believers, builders, and dreamers. So first, a little bit about myself. So I've spent the past decades as an entrepreneur in the AI and technology space, building solutions that bridging the research, industry, and community needs. Over the years, I've been fortunate to help secure more than 20 million in government funding along with research organizations and industry partners, which has supported innovative projects across sectors from infrastructure to healthcare and co-founded over 10 AI companies. Collectively, these ventures have created over 30 local jobs, and something I'm very proud of because it shows innovation translating into the real economic and social outcomes. So I've also served as a partner investigator with the Australian Research Council, where I work on national research initiatives. And I'm also academic staff at Melbourne Uni, teaching AI, IT, and entrepreneurship. So in 2024, I was honored to receive the Teaching Excellence Award as well. So I'm also, by the way, I'm also a Global Talent Program alumnus, a recognition from the federal government that reflects both the technical expertise and broader contributions I've been able to make in AI innovation. The common thread in all this work is a passion for turning ideas into practical, scalable solutions that creates value, whether for industry, research, or for the public good. So now let's talk about the future and how AI is set to redefine it. So the prediction here is quite clear. It's very transformative. By the end of 2025, AI agents will be widely integrated into the workforce. This isn't just about adding the technology. It's about transforming how businesses operate and produce. So consider the potential impact on efficiency, innovation, and productivity. AI has the power to unlock new possibilities that we are only beginning to imagine. And this prediction isn't just from anyone. It's from Sam Altman, right? Everyone now in the room probably know him for sure. So CEO of OpenAI, and his insights carry weight in the AI community, giving this prediction significant credibility. So as we move towards this AI-driven future, it's crucial to think about the opportunities and challenges that come with it. How can we prepare to harness AI's potential while addressing any associated risks? So let's keep these questions in mind as we explore the AI industrial revolution. So yeah, there we go. So this is throughout the history, each industry revolution has changed the ways we live and work. So in the 18th century, steam power transformed the manufacturing, and transport. And by the late 19th century, electricity enabled mass production. The late 20th century saw computers and internet connect the world and create knowledge economy. And now, we are in the middle of the artificial intelligence revolution, fueled by the data and intelligent system, moving faster and with greater impact than any before it. So this is just the roadmaps, like for the whole AI histories. All right, so in 1950s, the concept of AI was born. Computer scientists, which is the very famous Turing test, right? So the Alan Turing introduced the famous Turing test as a way to measure machine intelligence. And in the 1997, IBM's Deep Blue made history by defeating the world chess champion Garry Kasparov, a landmark moment that showed AI could outperform humans in highly complex rule-based tasks. So and then we fast forward to 2012, 2013, 2016. So there are many breakthroughs in deep learning led to major advances in image recognition, speech recognition, and natural language processing. And in 2016, AlphaGo beat a world champion in Go, which is far more complex than the chess, right? So, and in the 2017, Google researchers introduced the transformer architecture, the foundation of today's generative AI and the large language models. And in recent years, you can see in 2022, the remarkable rise of ChatGPT has demonstrated AI's extraordinary expansions, making it its fastest growing consumer application ever. And looking ahead, we expect to witness further breakthroughs with the possibility of achieving AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, and beyond. So this could usher in a new era where AI surpasses existing limitations, potentially transforming society in ways we can hardly imagine. So the graph is trying to show you that actually, and nowadays everyone talking about the ChatGPT, right? But the ChatGPT is just a very small piece of the whole AI world. When people talking about AI, we actually may be referring to the machine learning, the planning system, the expert system, cognitive computing, natural language processing, which is part of, like including the ChatGPT and robotics, automation system. There are plenty different kind of AI stuff that we need to focus on. So later in these sessions, I'm going to share a bit about what we are actually currently focused on. Actually, we're covering most part of it. All right. Okay. And the next one is about the stuff that I usually sharing with my industry partners. So instead of having just leveraging the normal GPT models, just like the Gemini or like the GPT versions or Cuban, etc. So what we are trying to leverage is not only about large language models, we are actually gathering all the data from our industry partners, gathering what kind of data. So there are plenty of different kind of data: vision language data, label data, image data, video data, speech data, etc., etc. Right. So the issue is how we can actually capture all the data and then leverage it very well and putting that into large language models and then fine-tuning all the models. At the same time, we need to capture the data and caring about the privacies and about the compliance as well. All right. So these are the stuff that we in our daily life for the AI companies. This is something we always need to keep this in mind. All right. So we capture all the data, and then we need to focus on not only about the data, but also the real-world applications, because the AI application won't be useful unless we can really use it every single day. Right, so these are the stuff that we really need to focus on. Yeah, and this is just try to show you what is the AI copilot going to work. So we are going to having the foundation models with all the content, and at the same time, we need to have the memory to store all the data, like the vector database. So that's the reason why the graphic cards is so important, because everything is going to store into the memory. And maybe it's going to be the video data or like the graphic data. So it's going to be very huge, and it requires very powerful graphic cards to make it like a training into large language models. So this is the overall workflow chart for the AI stuff. And the next topic is about we are getting familiar with generative AI and also specialized AI. So which one suits you the best? So, well, the answer actually, it depends. So the key advantages for the specialized AI, which is tailored to the business needs, highly customized to specific user cases, and enabling better alignment with operations, customers, and products. And also a streamlined architecture, so it's much simpler, more focused on design and are easier to maintain, faster to develop, and quicker to deploy. And also it's cost efficient, require less computational power and infrastructure than large language models. So there are heaps of different kind of advantages. So I'm just using a quick analogy for you guys. So generative model is just like a Swiss Army knife, which can do many things, but not always with the precision of a dedicated tool. Where specialized model is surgical instrument, perfect for one job, but not much else. So in the next session, I would like to share our own AI journey and explore more practical ways with you to use AI to make greater impact. So AIBuild is founded in 2017. At that time, not too many people talking about the ChatGPT or the AI stuff. We graduated from Melbourne Uni, and we start to found the little IT consulting firm. But we are having a lot of passions that are in the artificial intelligence and the computer vision. So in 1 year later, in 2018, we obtained the first Australian innovation patents by leveraging the computer vision to capture the 2D floor plan and convert it into the 3D models. So, and in 2019, then we trying to keep expanding our team, and we've been contributing to over 150 projects, commercial projects, trying to maintain the whole team and also gathering a lot of AI knowledge as well. So we start to transform our business focus, starting to the normal IT consulting business to the high-tech commercializations and also R&D stages. So as we can see in the next slide, so since 2021, we are able to getting a lot of innovation patents, one in the real estate, the other two are in the healthcare, and also in the aged care facilities by leveraging the computer vision to tracking the body motions for the patients and the residents. The next slide is showing now we are currently working on how many different government-funded projects. So these are the projects that we are now lucky enough to participate. And we lead some of the projects, like the CRCP grants. We are now leveraging the AI to building the whole ERP system for the multi-warehousing solutions for the whole wider Australia supply chain industry. And also we've been having a lot of recognitions, not only from Australian Research Council, but also from Department of Industry, Science, Energy and Resource, and also Department of Education, and got established a lot of collaborations, research collaborations with Melbourne Uni, Monash, Swinburne, Deakin, MIT, etc. So Google is also being very supportive to us. We are the first one to be to receive 500,000 Google AI credits in Australia to training the large language models based on their Google Cloud. And also we've been part of the NVIDIA program as well, so getting the industrial levels of graphic cards, so which means we don't have to send over the data into via the ChatGPT to US or DeepSeek to China. We can keep all the data responsibly that within Australia, or specifically we can even store all the data within small settings in the hospitals or in the universities. So we are actually having a kind of like a hyper-performance workstations with all the 4 or 6 graphic cards combining together. And in that case, we are really able to training our Australians large language models. Yeah, and we got a lot of recognitions and support from the City of Melbourne, the Victorian government, and also the federal government as well. Yeah, and then we're trying to expand it into the wider rest of the world, including the Singapore, and also we're starting with in Victoria, and then we little by little expanded into the wider Australia, including the Northern Territory and in Tasmania, and now expanding into the Singapore, in Hong Kong, in Japan, and in London, and also in US. So this actually is also a very important moment. So early this year, we've signed a strategic partnerships agreement with Shamid ID Tech. So our strategic partnerships with them is not just about technology, it's about building the bridges. By combining international investment with homegrown innovation, we are positioning Melbourne and Australia as a hub for world-class AI and digital solution. So today we are also very honored to have Jason, chairman of Shamid ID Tech Hong Kong, with us and share his point of view on AI to impact. So these are the brands that we are now collaborating with via the Shamid ID Tech. So these are these are all the big names: IKEA, 7-Eleven, and also you try to find some brands that you probably know, right? And LV, the Louis Vuitton, and also a lot of logistic big names: FedEx, the DHL, EMS, and also for the public utilities, healthcare, and even in the Disneyland in Hong Kong, in Shanghai, Universal Studios, and also many, many more. So we are now really trying to bring in all the data into Australia and trying to do the commercializations as well. So, and the next one will be the whole landscape currently AIBuild is currently focused on. So we are now having so many different kind of powerful industrial partners, and they are all very successful. They're having very extensive experience in their own industries. We are now focusing on the retail and enterprise system, education with help of Melbourne Uni, and sports and performance with sporting company, real estate, industrial assets management with Shamid ID Tech, circular economy, which Dr. Ray is going to do a live demo here. Yeah, stay tuned. And also healthcare, aged care. There's many, many more innovations around this, and I'm going to do maybe later on more demos in the later stage. And also agricultures and construction infrastructures. So this actually shows how AIBuild currently is trying to really transforming from just the idea and really backing all those bold ideas and try to becoming a unicorns later on. So this is the whole AI build. And we are actually trying to commit into having the total investment of 50 million in the next 5 years, along with the federal government's 20 million investments on these all AI industrial projects. So, yeah, so as we think today, so AI is not just about the technology, it's about how we apply it with the purpose and to create lasting impact. And that's exactly what drives us at AIBuild. And we are passionate about driving AI innovations and making a real-world impact through industries, research, and public sector partnerships. So at AIBuild, we back bold ideas, nurturing them until they become unicorns. So we are excited to collaborate on the transformative projects. And if today's discussion has sparked ideas, let's keep conversation going. So you can always connect me on the linking or explore more ideas, what we do on our websites, and together, and we can turn the visions into reality and shape a smarter and more innovative future. Thank you.
We'll shortly jump perhaps to the next slide, just the one slide on Aspire. So it should be coming up. The next one, whoops, sorry, it's going back to the thing, but I'm not sure if a bit of a technical thing here, just the one slide for Aspire. But while this happens, my name is Stephen Lew. I'm the founder of Aspire, a bit of a scribble here, but just assume it looks like this. So my name is Stephen Lew. So I've been in Australia for about almost 30 years now. I came here as a student at Melbourne Uni and spent about 10 years in the IT kind of environment at Melbourne Uni, managing an IT team. And then I switched to digital marketing for a few years, and now currently working for the federal government. In my day job, I kind of work with a lot of data scientists. So given that AI is kind of growing, it's about being one step ahead of that kind of technology. So how, in a sense, how we can implement it within the workforce to create a bit more efficiency. But that's my day job. But outside, I kind of I founded Aspire, which stands for Professional for Resilience, Innovation, and Excellence. So basically, I really enjoy networking after work. And whenever I connect with people, I kind of find very interesting stories and stirring interesting knowledge that kind of been shared on a one-on-one basis. I thought it's a waste of kind of time and conversation when you have one expert to be talking to me. I thought on creating a platform where we can share that knowledge to a wider audience. Hence, Aspire was born. It was actually founded last year, just when the kind of technology was evolving. So as you can see the hands here, it took me a while to use AI to kind of get this image. I think about 50 iterations to get the right hand kind of angle as well. So about 50% you would see 6 fingers, as you all know. But yeah, about 50 iteration just to get the right angle, the right green apple, not green, sorry, the red apple on the right image. But since then, about a year ago, I've been meeting on a regular basis, a monthly basis, and we do hold panel conversation with experts, from a surgeon to AI experts to authors. And it's a kind of safe space for people, professionals, to kind of come together, share their knowledge. In particular, CEOs and founders, they are willing to kind of come on board to share their journeys, their mistakes they make. That's how kind of innovation happens from my point of view. I'll be very short. It's just one slide. And as part of Aspire, we also work with sponsorships. We have a lot of sponsors from products, and you're lucky tonight. One of the sponsors is willing to kind of provide some freebies for you all. It's Which Coffee. Which Coffee is the brand, as you can see on the screen there. So I kind of asked Which Coffee to kind of provide the product, and they were actually planning to set up a coffee station. I thought perhaps it's a bit too late for coffee, so I thought perhaps providing some kind of freebies where you can brew the exact coffee at home would be a better option. So they did, and hopefully you will enjoy the packs on your way out later tonight. So I would encourage you, if you are keen on innovation, to kind of join our community. It's free if you have the time. Just scan the QR code. It's a linking page. So you just kind of connect with us and you'll find out the upcoming events. For example, the next one is happening on the 18th of September in the CBD somewhere. See, that's right, somewhere on Littleburg Street. And but Aspire also focus in the STEAM kind of fields, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So for next one, we're gonna have an award-winning author who's gonna come in and talk about her journey from creating an award-winning books, and she's also a lawyer. Her name is Alice Pong. But I won't keep you for too long. I might proceed to the next panel. But later on, you will hear from me again. I'll be moderating the panel for more questions. So that's it for now for me. Stephen Lew, I'll talk to you a bit later.
This very comprehensive introduction about AI. And for myself, I'm so impressive to see the whole journey from 19 what is the beginning of the journey? 2017, and also till now. Because I'm a Generation Z, I was born in 1997. I was thinking 2017, I'm just starting my university. At that time, no one is talking about AI. And right now, it's like AI is like basically shape our days every day. But Yifei started your business since then. That is so impressive. And also, I'm quite inspiring to see that like you collaborate with a lot of retail company. And a lot of company it's basically where go shopping every day. So it's basically AI is integrated our daily life very silently. So thank you so much for your comprehensive introduction. And next, I will give the stage to my friend, Dr. Ray, who will show a very interesting live demo about using the tech to do the water waste. Let's give him a very warm welcome.
A little bit. Chemical engineer. Nice to meet you. So a little bit background for myself. So I'm Ray. So I've been here for about 13 years. So I started journey at Trinity. And after that, University of Melbourne, do chemical engineering, bachelor, master, and finally PhD. All right. So if anyone recommend if I should go to do PhD or not, yes or no. But I would say till today, when I meet AI, I think everything changed. So if anyone like asks me if I should go for a PhD or not, I would say, okay, probably worth doing it because there's something gonna be very fun after. All right. So I'm gonna start with my slides first. Okay. Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do today, I will start with doing something here to have you guys to have a look of this equipment. So this equipment is a pre-assembled, what is called a membrane distillation unit. Have anyone heard about membrane distillation? A little bit, membrane distillation. All right, so long story short, it can do water treatment by evaporating, but not over 100 degrees. So normally people know that when water evaporates, it's over 100 degrees. But now I want to do it less than 100 degrees, which means that the heat source can be anything, which is simpler, which we don't need to boil it. So what I'm gonna do here, so this is a mixture of some salt, some mud, something that you can't drink. All right, so I'm gonna do a magic. So I'm gonna drink it, okay? Nah. I'm not gonna have it, okay. I'm gonna put it in the feet part, okay? So if anyone see it's very dirty, it's a dirty water, so I'm gonna put it here. So here is the inner part, and I'm gonna put it here. Bam. All right. So what's gonna happen next is I'm gonna to open this machine and run for 15 minutes, and I will do my presentation, and by the end of today, I'm gonna do a drinking test. Okay, but something I'm gonna say to you guys is that I'm not a magician, please. Okay, I'm not a magician, I'm a scientist. Okay, so I'm gonna start. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna start my slides, and well, I will just put everything here. So my topic today is to rethink wastewater. Can anyone tell me what kind of wastewater treatment strategy that you guys know? Just shout it out. Anyone knows? Anything? Wastewater treatment, what they are doing? Sorry? Reverse osmosis, I like it. Today I'm gonna change the way you think of reverse osmosis, because reverse osmosis is something that we need to press the water through a membrane where you need to press it, which means that you need to have high energy input. So today I'm gonna start with something very general. So water is everything. So think of something in 4 aspects. So we got water in our human bodies, definitely. Water is very important for the environment, that's for sure. Okay, so there are two things that I'm going to talk about today in particular. So why water is important for technology? That's something interesting. I will give you guys one example, is semiconductor industry. In terms of all these machines and small devices that you guys have today, everything requires ultra pure water. It's not the general water, it's the water with no contaminant at all. Nothing, but only H2O in water. Okay, so if you have some like impurities in that, you can't make even one small piece of semiconductors. NVIDIA is gonna like bankrupt all of a sudden. So that's how I'm gonna say the water is very important for the technology advancement. So obviously, when it's important to technology, that's gonna be definitely gonna be important in the economy. But I'm sure everyone lives in a world where you probably are not be aware of water scarcity issues, because we're not living in some desert place. We have plenty of water. Sort of here we can drink 8 cups of water a day. So we are not suffering something. But the actual fact is that water scarcity is a global problem. Think of this. The increase of industrial revolution will increase the demand of water. So where this water is coming from? Let's say where we now giving like the rise to attention of wastewater treatment, but in the last 20 years, like we will just try to get some water when human needs to drink it, right? So if let's say if the industry need more water, the human will consume less water. And even like seawater, which occupies about more than 97% of the total water in the world, and we can't even access it. Why? Because there are so many salt into it. And people try to do it, like people try to get the fresh water from the seawater. However, it's a time-consuming, energy-intensive process. And also another thing, think of what if you treat the water after? You get the water, yes, but you still get the salt. What's gonna happen is people just dump salt back into the sea, which doesn't actually solve the problem at all. There's a joke I always tell everyone, like for engineers, it's just trying to push one problem to the downstream, where like the other guys is gonna to solve these problems after. So water scarcity, obviously a global problem. And what's going to happen next? We need to treat the water. So what are the current wastewater treatment infrastructure looks like? So the first one I want to say, firstly, thank you for mentioning reverse osmosis. This is really something I want to talk about, because most of the water treatment plant, reverse osmosis is the major wastewater treatment process. It's the major. And it's a very energy intensive process because you need to press it. Second part, it's a complex process and large footprint. Imagine, I think, I don't know how to describe how large it is, but it will probably, if let's say all the Victorians need to live with a place where you need to drink enough water, now we have east water treatment plant, west water treatment plant, if anyone's went there, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And it's not really just enough because it's just the domestic water. There are still like plenty of industrial processing water that people need to be accessed, especially for heavy industry. The third part is lack of smart water platform. This is something interesting. Why is that? I've been to a dairy factory before. I'm not gonna say who they are. And I'm asking them like, why you are not building something that is smart? And they're just saying that, okay, now we can just find some, for example, pipe is leaking, pump is going wrong, and we go and fix it. We are not predicting it. These are like a medical sort of scenario, like when people get ill, they eat something. It's not like when, but I think in the next generation, we need to have a mindset. We need to take something healthy so that we are not going to the doctor, right? So these are the two major differences. So I want to make this analogy with with the scenario where people are really just trying to use the old-fashioned eyes monitoring or whatever. It's not that smart. And the last part, waste management. Although we trade the wastewater, but what about the waste that is coming from the wastewater treatment? There's no solutions on that. So what's going to happen for us? I just want to make it simple. I only do two things. So we do challenging wastewater treatment. So here I significantly mentioned about that is we have high salinity things. So what can it solve? It can solve the wastewater from mining industry. People know that how big the mining industry in Australia. We can get the water from sea, but we use less energy. And also, we can even turn something into useful material that can be recycled. Well, this part is very interesting. I will give you guys one scenario. When you do mining, you turn ores into oxide, like metal oxide that is used for industrial purpose. So by doing that, there's something which is really important during the process, which is called hydrochloric acid. So this acid is expensive, corrosive. What about let's recycle that so that we don't do more input for hydrochloric acid and it save money for industry and can reduce the environmental effect to the environment, like all these acids will come into the soil and into the beef or whatever, the things that taste really delicious, but now it's not that delicious. This is something that I'm not looking. All right, so I'm only do these two things. So by doing the technology that we got, we turn challenging wastewater into what is called a zero liquid discharge solution. 4 words, zero, so there's no waste dumping. Liquid, it's a liquid process. Discharge, no discharge. So, yeah, so this is what we got. So why now? Because honestly, I don't have any AI background. The only AI job that I've ever done is doing prompt engineering. But why now? So there are 3 parts I want to talk about. So firstly, it's a global trend, not just the water scarcity, but also circular economy aspects. People talk about circular economy, people talk about sustainability, but what is the actual thing? These are the actual thing, okay? So the second part is what I can. Obviously, what I can do is wastewater treatment. I can only do wastewater treatment. I can't do games, I can't do singing, I can't do comedy. I wish I can do comedy, but thanks. So the third part is what is very important. Back to today's topic, AI to entrepreneurship. So see the equipment. So what's going to happen here is all the data. There's numbers here, numbers here, numbers here, numbers here, numbers everywhere. So these data, what if we can build up a model on that and predict the performance on the equipment? Or in the future, we predicted the whole process. Yeah, it is viable. It's called digital twin. So from all 3 aspects overlap, I think this is why the company starts. It's not just my personal passion, it's more than that. We need to follow the trend. we need to follow what AI can do. And we can maximize the usability of AI by not just doing like our daily actions, but also turn into something that is really viable solution to actually truly make change in particular industry, especially in those old-fashioned industry. So I'm gonna end up with today's speech with this picture. So it's a very obvious one made by AI. Definitely, I'm not an artist, so I can't make any pictures. But in summary, we will just do a circular economy things where there's no waste has been dumping. We turn everything into valuable things. So we are not pushing the solutions, or we are not pushing the problem to other engineers. So we start from wastewater, turn it into water that can be drank, ultra pure water that can be used in high-end manufacturing. And at the same time, we recycle the material that can be reused. And by the end of the day, we collect all the data and train our model to make it more smart and predictive. So I finished my speech. So let us to go through this machine. So what's gonna happen now is, so this is a process called direct contact membrane distillation. I'm not gonna talk about in depth, but I will just brief things about the water while passing through by something magical, but I'm not a magician, it's like science. Science help it. So now, I'm gonna stop this one. So that's the output. Some of the water is coming out from the polluted side to the pure side. So here is the combination of pure water and the water has been filtered to this part. And then now I'm gonna drink it. Before drinking it, there are two numbers that I want you guys to have a look. So this is the input. So here we show 18.34 millisiemens per centimeter. You don't need to know what it is, but it's just a mimic environment as seawater. So it's similar salinity for seawater. And even industrial water, similar range. And it has already passed what reverse osmosis can do. So basically, if let's say today here is reverse osmosis, bang, you can't do it. I can't drink it. So this is 2.82, but the unit is a little bit different. 2.82 means 2.82 microsiemens. So there's 1,000 difference between the unit. Okay? So basically, the difference between these two is 5 digits. So there's a huge difference between the input side and the output side. So now I'm gonna drink it. Do we have anyone can help me if there's any medical things happen like in about? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna do, anyone got a water bottle? No one? No, so I just want cheers. Alright, so can you open for me? Like, let's do a cheers to end up today's conversation because it's late today. I'm sure everyone's coming after school or work or everything, so I just want to cheers to end up today's conversation. So let's cheers together, alright? 1, 2, 3, cheers. It actually tastes good. It actually tastes really good. And raise up a hand if you like beers. Raise up a hand. Please, be honest, please. Some of the beers is made from ultra pure water. Thank you, guys. All right, any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Oh, yes, hell. Yeah.
Congratulations on your bravery. Perhaps it is a very sensitive information, but I would really like to know what actually process happened with the water and what is going to happen with the waste. And also a side question, is it possible to use this technology to remove microplastic from water?
I'm going to answer the third first, and yes. Anyone knows microplastic issues is a very serious issue. It's like PFAS, like PFOA, PFOS, PFHXS. So how to do it? Material innovation. So what I bring here today is a small piece of membrane that's happened for all these sort of things. I'm not going to educate everyone today in terms of like how the process is doing, because there are so many simulations, equations coming into it, but it's just this one. So what you're going to do is you do modification on this membrane by adding something. So one of the example I used to do, which has already been published, is I used to put air jet tires onto the surface. So I do something very interesting, and yeah, it eventually works. So microplastics works, salt works, acid works, organics, not really, but there are ways to do it. Like we can do stage by stage process. So it all depends on the material that has happened on this piece of paper. It's not paper, it's polymer. I'm not sure if I'm answering all the questions for you. Yeah. So this is only one part of the demonstration. So today is only like one part of the things. So in general, that's going to be a bigger system where you have, where we collect the input. So imagine if the pure water is going to the other part, this part is going to be more concentrated, and more concentrated. And we will take that into the following process, which I'm not going to tell you today, but yeah, we can talk about that later. Yeah, thanks. Any other questions? Questions? Hi.
Hi. Thanks, Ray. I'm just wondering how or if the machine was supported with any AI processes, like, or how has AI supported that process?
Very good question. So, the importance of AI is that I mentioned all the data here. So every model that built using AI, data is always the first input. What we do is there are about like temperature sensors, flow meter sensors, pressure sensors. We use these sensors to build up a model that in a virtual way that can mimic what's happened here. So basically, we can predict what's going to happen in the future after several days, weeks of training and gathering of all these data. So basically, it's just a data thing. So that's why I'm thinking that for all these industry, a particular chemical process engineering, because you all got all these sensors, but now what they are doing is there's one sitting in the control room drinking the beer and saying that, okay, the number goes up, the pressure goes down, what's going to happen? I need to manually do it. But we can use AI to do it. Thank you. Any other question? Thank you for the round of applause. Yes. Very good question. Think of the using case scenario. If any place is near the sea, it's a viable option for people living in Africa. If it is not in the sea, for example, like center of Africa or something, guess if we can do it. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, so I think there are two ways I want to answer this question. The first thing is in terms of the technology advancement. So let's think of, let's not use Africa. Let's use something that we're familiar, like Darwin. It's very dry. There's not much water there. we can do some process integration where we try to find the water and turn something into something that is drinkable. We can, so there's a technology called direct air capture, which we can actually capture air in water from the air. It's everywhere. So I think for all these it can be done by process integration. And at the same time, for these low educated area, like you mentioned, what our engineers' duty is to make it as simple as possible. I think make it simple is what I think the technology advancement is going to happen in the future. Because a lot of people now, they are trying to advise their technology advancement by introducing a lot of complex things. For example, complex materials, complex process. But like you said, we need to train everyone. So we want to make science simple. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you everyone, and thank you for Ray's presentation. And next one is going to be a very interesting panel discussion. I know you guys have a lot of questions in your mind, and now is a good timing to ask our guest speaker. So today we have Stephen, and also we have Gabriel, and we have Jason, and Yifei, and Ray. Please welcome.
We'll make, the mics should be working, I believe. Yes, all good. Thank you, Jan, for the introduction. Quite an interesting demonstration, Ray. Hopefully the liquid we've seen earlier, it's just black coffee. That's all right. Okay, so as you all know, AI is evolving quite rapidly in our day and age. It's about really understanding. It's not about adopting. It's about how we can optimize the technology in our day-to-day life to make things more efficient. But we do have a wide spectrum of experts here, from research to social impact, sustainability and investment. We've already heard from Yifei and Ray. Perhaps I might give the opportunity to Gabriel, get you here to perhaps introduce yourself in terms of how you use AI at the moment in your field of work.
Hi, my name is Gabriel. I'm the founder of Canvo. I've been in Australia for about almost 10 years now. So I use AI as a tool to solve communication barriers, specifically in translating sign language, Australian Sign Language, into text, to bridge the gap between hearing people and the deaf.
Thanks for that. Perhaps we'll pass the mic to our next guest. So Jason, understand Yifei introduced you a bit earlier, but perhaps would you have an additional context on how you currently use AI in your company?
Yeah, we are helping the enterprise to go through the digital transformation, especially nowadays. You see a lot of good brands, right? We mentioned IKEA, Disneyland. So there are a lot of happening in the back. Is they're trying to a lot of frontline staff. They don't want to do a lot of training, but from the management point of view, they want to have a user-friendly tools, especially how to leverage AI. I can share an example, for example, even my wife, okay? So she's been using the chat. She's an early adopter, right? But I'm telling you, when I check the bill after 6 months' time, she's subscribing the premium plan, $300 a month. So I said, stop it. After 6 months, I found out the bill, okay? Why? She's complaining. This is a real-life example, okay? She's complaining. Why? Because before I used the free model, the freebie, okay, she couldn't find the answer correctly. I said, it depends on how you answer. So same as the larger enterprise, they need to know how to use AI. Everyone is using ChatGPT nowadays, okay? We are all using it, okay? But how to use it, okay? Like I think Yifei, Michael can give you a better understanding, how to ask the prompt, how to ask better question. So if I want to cook, I want to do the Italian food tonight, okay, my wife, okay, I have to ask if I want to do Italian, not saying that I want to make a good dinner tonight for my son and hubby. No, this is not the way how to ask. So likewise, how to educate the enterprise, how to help them to go through the digital transformation, how to make good use of the AI as a part of their, right now, the business workflow. And this is important nowadays because we cannot get rid of it. Yeah.
That's good. Thanks for that, Jason. I might pass to perhaps Yifei. You mentioned earlier about your research you've done and also how you kind of translated to real life entrepreneurship aspect you've kind of put forward. But what are the key lessons? I believe there will be a lot of entrepreneurs or keen entrepreneurs in this room. Any particular aspect you would want to share with the entrepreneurs here in the room in terms of the challenges you face from that research transition to real life?
Yeah, there are actually plenty of different obstacles and a lot of traps, but I might just share one very important one. So although, maybe quite surprisingly, although I founded an AI company, but to me, I always share with my industry partners and even with my students that normally to reach to or achieve a success of a startup, actually AI is not the most important thing. AI is one of the most important things, but not the most important thing. That was because we definitely need to understand about the traditional industry, the particular industry, what's really the pain point. And then we go back to kind of like do the reverse engineering, see how AI can really helping to changing the current situation. So AI is a magnifier, is a tool to really shaping the existing industries, really helping them to grow, rather than just because AI is popular and you are going to do saying like I'm going to do AI stuff. It's not just working that way. Actually, we need to do in a reverse order, really trying to figure out what's really the pain point is in the traditional industry, and try to leveraging the AI and other high tech solutions to really fixing that. Yeah.
That's right. Thanks for sharing this. But perhaps then, Ray, that demonstration was quite fascinating. I trust it's not a, well, it looks very sophisticated. But in terms of the scalable aspect, Ray, how would you see it from this kind of prototype to a full-scale integration, perhaps not only in Australia, but I believe there will be potential in other countries?
So I think in terms of the scale up, firstly, I think the most important thing is the supply chain. So in terms of the global, so I think we are not, we really want to make it like Australian base. However, if let's say our target is global thing, because water scarcity is a global thing. So I think to find a good supply chain for even like small parts, the manufacturing, even the small, like a film, a thin film on the membrane equipment, whatever is important, we need to find the good collaborators that can help us to build up the equipment that we are finally looking for. So I think in terms of entrepreneurship, there's something also I want to share is the idea is important. However, there are way more aspects that is very important in starting a business. So in terms of everything here, we're getting designed, we're getting assembled, we're getting delivered. There's every tiny steps that matters.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing this. I might go back to Gabrielle, perhaps. Gabrielle, you kind of mentioned earlier the program, your focus at the moment is kind of using AI in that Auslan, converting or deciphering the sign language to a real English text-based aspect. That's quite fascinating, I would say, given that in some states, perhaps not in Victoria, but some states would have mandatory sign language in their news, for example. But how's the progress so far? Are you able to elaborate on that one?
So I have to say we've made some mistakes So in the beginning, I just started as the only founder, not technical. I had the idea because I worked in the industry. I met someone who was using sign language, and I couldn't help them. I was a support worker, and so I tried things. I looked for people who wanted to help me to build the technology, and I didn't talk to the community, and so when I did, I was able to find a deaf advisor who's deaf, and they helped us to get on the right track. And then we got partnered with Yifei. That's when I met Yifei, who was our tech partner. And with Yifei's help, we've been able to create a prototype that can recognize the alphabet and also 10 basic words. So that's how far we are.
I believe you have a prototype running for now.
Yes, we do.
Been tested in the community or it's still in progress?
No, we are still testing. And that's also something that we've also done. Last month, we had the University of Melbourne students help us to create a community engagement framework that will be led by our deaf advisor, so that we can get more feedback from the deaf community. I think the most important thing is not to build for them, but to have them lead what we are building. So what we build becomes something that they actually want, not the other way around.
Excuse my ignorance, Gabriel, but the sign language is universal language, isn't it?
No. Australia has its own, which is Auslan. Every other country has their own. This was something I also discovered. I thought the same. And it also varies in regions. So Victoria, people in Victoria will sign different from people in Perth or Queensland. So that's also another, I guess, challenge.
A big challenge, indeed.
That we will be facing. But it's a good journey anyway. Yeah.
Interesting. Jason, in terms of your portfolio, I understand you kind of invest in a lot of startups as well. How would you think of certain, you've met a lot of entrepreneurs who pitch in the products that they want to collaborate with you. Is there any particular obvious red flag when you meet an entrepreneur or who's pitching to you that you believe it's a obvious red flag where perhaps in the room the prospective entrepreneur may learn from there?
Well, I think you have to do a lot of sport, do a lot of exercise, and because you have a heart attack because when you're doing a lot of startup, right? And you can look at my hair, right? Okay, he's the exception. Okay, so I think never give up. Actually, because you'll be very fascinated when you're going through the seed run, the Series A, Series B. You'll be very happy to expand exponentially. But I think the caliber has never give up because the challenge is really 24/7. You cannot sleep well, so you have to get prepared, for the new challenges. And your product can be replicated right away tomorrow by other competitors. They have a better funding, they have better, support. So what we need to do is, first, we have to identify why the target market, and also not just identify the target market, but also meeting the needs of the user of that target market. A lot of startup, they just, I found the right market, then I do a lot of marketing, spend a fortune, but they fail to meet the user of that particular market. So we learn from all failures, actually. We're making failure every day. We're happy with that, and we have to learn from that. So never giving up. This is the most important ingredient that we have to have before starting up.
I've seen earlier on the slide, the portfolio is quite very, very broad. Would you say there are some commonalities in certain aspects, or would you kind of go forward with and kind of open mind on those investment. In particular, because again, some sectors, some industry would have different kind of connotation in the technology. Would you have certain differentiation, or it's?
No, actually, depends. We walk through different business model, business case, because we have own modeling. Usually the fund, they have different their own modeling. So when they feed in data, we know the model, that how and when, and what kind of budget that we need to invest in. So we are not confined ourselves into only tech-based. Even we've been investing in some collectible stuff, art stuff, painting. So the collectible market is, think about it, because we're AI, right? AI is, to me, is kind of new industrial revolution. So think about our ancestor, from fisherman to hunter, and then farmer, and then working in the office. So we're all evolving. So it's evolved, but I think the AI helping us to create, to increase the productivity, to scale up everything. So like the industrial revolution. So why collectibles? People fancy and people value about the craftsmanship, human-made product right now, because with the AI, with the industrial revolution, a lot of machine can scale. We have more than enough of what we have. But instead, people now going back to treasure something human-made, man-made, craftsmanship. So there's something that the price cannot be comparable. So this is something that we are also interested. So look at the auction result of the most of the site like Sotheby, Christie's, even Phillips. So look at their sales, even the downturn in the economy. So but put aside they're all using AI to analyze the human behavior. So we cannot get rid of AI. AI helping us to understand behavior. Amazon and Google, so we will not use their search engine anymore. Google, we're using ChatGPT, we're using DeepSeek. They'll become our personalized search engine. They'll personalize everything for us that we have to keep an eye on it. So especially for those smartwatch, no more smartwatch, use smart glasses. So, do I need to stop?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so basically a lot of people using smartwatch, like measuring their heart rate or their footstep, but there's no action. But think about the Meta glasses or a lot of glasses coming up with smart glasses. They give the AI with the vision. So they in coming few months and few years, they will learn exponentially. Think about, we are human. We have a taste, we have vision, we have touch, we have all these 5 senses, right? Now, using ChatGPT, we input only text and graphic. And they go through a lot of, stubborn and inefficient, browsing the whole world information to come up with the answer that my wife is not satisfactory. Okay? So, with the vision, think about it. Before, using ChatGPT, you send them 10 photos of dog. Oh, they understand. Tell you this is a dog. Now, one picture. They have the vision, they have eye, they have camera. Robot, don't confine itself. It's just a real robot. It can be a gadget. It can be glasses. So we change our life. So next time my wife want to be on diet. Okay, I want to have a program this month. In September, I want to trim down, say, 2 kg. So I'm wearing the glasses. Say, okay, the action is telling me, okay, stop eating the meat for the lunch. Okay, stop it. So can we execute the way that we want? So what does it mean that a lot of investment, besides the collectibles, besides the AI, we've been a lot of investment in the drug discovery. Think about in the past few months, a lot of new drugs being invented because they learn faster than human, than us. So longevity, we'll be living longer, unfortunately. So there are a lot of better, treatment from them. So look at the drug discovery. So I think there are a lot of medicines coming up, to waiting for the FDA approval, actually. There are a lot of new medicine coming up to cure cancer easily because they learn faster than every doctor. They have more knowledgeable than us. So this is how AI. So we have to embrace it, leverage it. Because at the end of the day, who is paying the bill? Human. Who's making the money? The employer is human. In the process, they're using waiter, waitress, all become robot. Don't worry about it. We have to get someone to manage all these AI and robot. Our job will not be replaced. But we have to remember our ancestor. From fisherman to hunter, to farmer, to businessman. So we are evolving. We have to keep abreast of the times, so don't worry about it.
That's an interesting aspect. So health I think you mentioned it's quite a big sector. Perhaps the investment is more concentrated in that aspect. But Yifei as well, in a sense, you've met with a lot of projects and entrepreneurs as well. Would you say health is a sector you're also kind of having a big interest in?
Yeah, absolutely. So health, hopefully you still remember the landscape. So there's a bunch of different innovations that we are currently focused on in the healthcare and aged care sector. The reason why is quite obvious. Australia and even the whole globe actually facing an aging population, and also we trying to previously there is a bottleneck for AI. And really actually slows down the evolvement of the medicine, the drugs. So, but with the AI, we can do a lot of simulations. We can do millions testings without really putting everything onto the rats or on humans or on monkeys. So we can do a lot of simulations before we really testing it onto some other stuff, some other experiments. So currently we are doing one for the for preventions with the order by using the computer vision to tracking the body skeleton data. And then in that case, with the order, we know all the coordinates of the body joints. And then we will be able to predict or analysis the strength of the muscle, and also the body joints angle, if they're on the right track or not. So with that, we are also able to tracking the body gait movements. If we are able to know the gait movements, we will be able to predict the deterioration rates of a residents or elderly people. So we are able to gathering a lot of data from the computer vision, and then we can do a lot of preventative healthcare stuff, and also preventions of the some early chronic of diseases. Yeah, and there's plenty.
That's right. Yep. Before I open to the audience for some questions, I might ask perhaps the last question from my end is, in the next 5 years, how would you see the biggest AI innovation given our Innovation Week? Any kind of prediction in which kind of perhaps you already mentioned health sector is one of the largest impact.
So I want to have a start. So for me, the prediction, because my background is chemistry, so basically like all these drugs, medicines are all like organic chemistry. So there's already been some AI model that can develop new materials that humans have never think of that. And it has already been like proved to work. So this is something that is crazy, like inorganic chemistry, organic chemistry, whatever the chemistry is. So I think in the future, the development of chemistry is really a big part from my perspective.
Yeah. And to me, there is not only a very specific industry, everything. I can now, for the constructions, we are now not only focusing on just large language models, we are focusing on the humanoid robots, some robotic stuff, and whether they can really layering the brake, and also, so these are for the automations in the construction site. And also for AI companions, whether this can really be realized within 5 years, I think definitely for sure from my end, because this is something we are currently working on, to creating an AI companion that really can caring the elderly people who are actually living independently in the regional area. And also, we are now, another healthcare innovations we are trying to focus on, which is leveraging all the big data. And we focus on the workflow in a regional hospital and regional aged care facilities. We are able to fast tracking whether and tri-aging all the nursing staff's workflow. Which kind of tasks should be prioritized, and what kind of tasks they can put off a little bit. So trying to streamline and increase the efficiency for basically all the industries. And I think it will have a lot of new creations, new innovations with basically all the industries within the next 5 years. Yeah.
Perhaps Jason, any kind of thoughts?
Yeah. Just echoing what Michael just mentioned, right? Robotics, definitely from the Schmidt ID Tech perspective, we've been helping all these enterprises. That's why, especially for the warehouse management solution that we've been working with Michael. So there are large investment in the how to make use of the robot, automate all the existing workflow, and think about the pallet, how they're moving around, parking, car, okay, all the labor-intensive job, can be easily replaced, by the robot, so that they can work 24/7, so the human will be, helping to manage all this robot at the same time to do the better job. Yeah.
And your thoughts, Gabriel?
In the accessibility sector, I think there will be more better relationships because you'll see, like for example, the deaf are really secluded community. They only interact by themselves for obvious reasons. But with technology, for example, with Canvo, we'll see deaf people accessing places they haven't accessed before, creating more relationships and improved mental health, and also in terms of the disability services as well, where I work with NDIS providers. They're facing a lot of challenges with admin work and spending a lot of time in the office instead of spending enough time looking after the disabled participants. There's also issues with fragmented systems where systems in the NDIS and the healthcare don't talk to each other. So if AI can do that and increase efficiency all over.
Great, thanks for that. I might open the floor to the audience. Any questions from the audience? Yep, we have one at the back, perhaps. I might get some help from someone, perhaps. Andy, are you? Oh, Jin's here. We'll go the back first, and then we'll go to you.
Good evening. All right. Good evening. I'm Luca. I'm from Indonesia. Actually, I just arrived yesterday, and my friend told me there is a Melbourne Connect Innovation Week, so I arrived today. And it's pretty interesting, and I have several questions for Mr. Yifei. We know that if you ever use cloud or Anthropic, and the quality and the price is, I thought every year or the next year the price will be declining, but it's not. The price is going up. When you use cloud, $20, the limitation is pretty fast running out. And then there is a lot of open source model like Kiwan, Alibaba, and then GLM, Kimi, K2, and etc. And what I curious is how far the Australia or Victoria government wants to implement about the open source model rather than like big companies that, because if we use that ChatGPT for the company, maybe our data can be stored over there. And 2 days ago, Cloud Anthropic announced that there is 5 years data retention. It means our data is being maybe stored. It's not trained directly, but maybe for the ChatGPT, if you're using enterprise, there is an agreement they will not use the data for the privacy matters. But I'm curious it is how far the Australian want to adopt like the open source model, because myself, I also entrepreneur. I host open source model in Jakarta, Indonesia. So every company, oil and gas, finance, if they want to use AI on premise, I can set up their server like GPUs. I imported NVIDIA GPUs and I set in their office because this data is matters. And also a lot of AI startup is in negative margins. A lot of like Cursor and maybe a lot of that's a wrapper of the cloud. They are in negative margins. And I think that open source model is the opportunity because it's cheaper when you can invest in the infrastructure and there is no token operational cost. That's it. Thank you.
Seems like a right questions for you, Yifei.
Yeah, that's right. And this is something actually, that's a really good question. If you're asking whether the Victorian government, state government, and also federal government, whether they are focusing on this kind of issue, the answer is definitely quick answer is definitely yes. So they are actually focused on that kind of issue, but really having so they are now trying to come up with a plan with all the setting up or establish the data centers there in Australia. Yeah, and I know some of the plans a little bit, but unfortunately, with a lot of these are all quite sensitive data, and it's not being published, so cannot be talking about to the public yet. But there's still a lot of obstacles that trying to come up with a plan. The reason why is because AI compliance and also AI privacies. And the other stuff is, for example, even with the, for example, the open source models, you still need to having a lot of graphic cards where we can having the power supply. Whether it's previously in the United States, currently the nuclear related industry is now going up. That was because nuclear power can really generate a huge amount of power for the GPU trainings. But that might be an option, or solar panel related, generating the powers for AI training. So really, then it comes down to not only just setting up data center, but also to training the AI in Australia. You need to think about many other stuff, like the where the power coming from, and also where it should be located, whether it's in Victorian or Sydney or in Queensland, etc. Right. So there are heaps of different things to consider. Yeah, but I would like to say they are really considering about having a planning that having the data center in Australia. Yeah.
I might just perhaps add to that. Open source model is indeed very viable. However, there are some restrictions as mentioned. The data part and also the training part is very energy demanding. So that's some of the consideration that perhaps might feed into the answer. But I think it's a good connection for yourself to Yifei. We have another question in front, please.
Thanks very much. Yeah. Jason used the phrase, they are more knowledgeable than us. Can you just amplify what you mean by knowledgeable with that phrase, please?
Thank you. Because with the AI, this is LLM model, they can easily gain access to all the data available, at least online, right, internet. So all the information, through the LLM model, you ask the question, the prompt, and then they will come up, because the search, we're going through all the data available in the internet, and then they give you an answer. So that's why it depends on the GPU, okay, it depends on the hardware, of course, so we are all fighting for the GPU, for the card, right? It depends on the processing power, but because all the information available, they will use it, for the AI training, for the say why when the AI box, like the ChatGPT AI bot, right? When they started, they are not good, but now after all this training, after a lot of people using it, they keep learning. So that's why they're more knowledgeable because they can gain access to those data, faster than every one of us.
I might just also add to that, in a sense, knowledgeable, because the large language model, as itself it says, it grabs every digital data that's been put in the cloud in the past 20, 30 years. They basically grab all the expert research papers, etc. That's why perhaps it's impossible these days for one person to have that kind of knowledge. So that's why AI has all the experts' knowledge collection in one simple platform. That's why perhaps it meant by that. Perhaps do we have a last minute question? Perhaps not. If not, I would say this has been a very interesting session, in particular for yourself, Gabriel. That work you're doing in the social impact is quite massive. Just learned something new, that sign language is just unique in Victoria and statewide, but another challenge for perhaps you and Yifei to work on. Jason, your portfolio is massive, and with your kind of heads around managing all these work with those different sectors, that's something in itself is a big challenge where I believe AI, that's where it's stepping in. Yifei, your work is still amazing with the portfolio you have as well, with that research aspect and getting people like Gabriel on board to encourage that development. And Ray, your machine's still on, so that's good. And I really hope it takes off and really utilize this technology in places where they do not have clean water. For example, Indonesia, we have someone from Indonesia. I understand that the tap water is still unsafe to utilize, and when I visited Indonesia, I was advised not to even brush my teeth using tap water. I have to use bottled water, but that's where your technology will become very handy. But thanks again for your time. It's been really, really great. But one last part in terms of the last question perhaps. AI is making a wave, so much so that these days, every entrepreneur can be their own CEOs, meaning you can simply ask an AI to act as your chief financial officer or operations officer, and you kind of manage the whole entire business. So it has never been so easy today to start your own business. But one key element that's missing is, I would say, is networking. You have to still go and network and meet the people that can also put you to the next level. Having said that, I might pass to our MC for the closing part.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's very, very interesting discussion. I basically have so many learnings. I put a very long notes on my memos, and I hope I can also have time to digest. So I forgot to mention that I'm also the founder of the online female community with 1,500 plus members worldwide. So it is my observation is actually echo very well with today's panel discussion. Like firstly, I see that there are a lot of like one-person company. They use ChatGPT or other AI solutions to increase their productivity, use as a personal assistant. And the second one is like today's our guest speaker. There are a lot of rising AI entrepreneurs using the AI to innovate their products. So yeah, I think that is pretty much for today. I really like what Jason said. Instead of walking away from AI, be bold and don't be scared, and maybe you will be the future entrepreneur. Thank you so much for today, and feel free to stay here and talk to everyone, connect. Maybe Jason will be your next investor.